What happens when your boss calls you replaceable, after you've been running everything behind the scenes? What if the system only works because of you, and the moment you stop, it all starts collapsing? And how long would it take before they realize the mistake they made? This is exactly what happened in just 72 hours. So my boss called me replaceable and shot down my promotion. I decided to stop doing the 70% of my work that wasn't officially part of my job description. Exactly 72 hours later, the entire operation started falling apart, and major clients began warning us about fines for breaching uptime agreements. I'm a 32-year-old guy working in data center operations at a medium-sized cloud infrastructure company. I've been here close to 2 years, handling change control. Basically, I'm the person who decides whether a production deployment goes live or gets blocked because it could break critical systems. Then the meeting happened. They gave me just 24 hours notice. The subject line simply read, "Role discussion." I already knew what was coming. 22 months of effort was about to be evaluated in a single short conversation. The meeting lasted exactly 11 minutes. I kept my phone timer running, screen facing up on the table the whole time. Michelle already had that smug corporate expression before I even sat down. That fake professional smile that told me the decision had been made long before I walked in. This was pure performance. It was the same look she'd given me for the past 22 months whenever I brought up career growth. The courteous brush off, the classic "we'll revisit this later" that never actually led anywhere. Michelle was an expert at diminishing people while keeping everything looking polite and professional. She was never openly harsh, just slow, steady professional erosion. She had the rejection letter already printed and folded neatly. 2 other managers sat on either side of her like silent backup, witnesses for what was about to unfold, standard corporate procedure. I had been single-handedly running change control operations for 22 months, not supporting, not assisting, running the entire process alone, every production change approval, every maintenance window coordination, every urgent exception request coming from engineering teams spread across 4 data center regions. This was critical infrastructure, customer databases, payment systems, healthcare applications. One mistake here didn't just mean complaints. It meant customer-facing outages and serious contract penalties. The volume was enormous, 4 data center regions, hundreds of change requests flowing through every single week. Each one carried the risk of downtime, lost revenue, or outright disaster. The person before me had only lasted 6 months before quitting right in the middle of a Friday evening maintenance window. He left his badge on the desk beside a half-finished sandwich. By Monday morning, I was already taking frantic calls from engineering managers. No proper handover, no training at all. They simply rolled 3 filing cabinets full of paperwork to my desk and told me to figure it out. The previous guy's filing system was a complete mess, random documents stuffed into folders with zero organization. I spent my first month just sorting through everything that existed. Then I spent the next 6 months completely rebuilding the process from the ground up. I created a functional change approval database, developed maintenance window protocols that reduced scheduling conflicts by 80%, designed risk assessment frameworks that prevented us from accidentally destroying production environments. I set up automated reporting that made the executives appear knowledgeable, even when they had no real understanding of the details. In my first year, documented incidents dropped by 67%. Change success rates improved from 73% to 96%. Those figures came straight from the executive operations dashboard, the same one the VP proudly referenced during quarterly business reviews. My dashboard, the promotion I had requested, wasn't asking for anything unreasonable. It was simply formal recognition of the work I had been doing ever since the last guy walked out. Michelle slid the paper across the table without making eye contact. "We've decided not to proceed with your promotion request at this time." I picked it up and scanned the opening lines. Standard corporate wording that said nothing while saying everything. 22 months reduced to not the right fit. "What exactly is missing?" I asked, keeping my voice calm and professional. She finally looked at me as if doing me a favor. "Strategic vision. You handle execution very well, but this role needs someone with a broader perspective. Someone who can engage effectively with executive leadership. Translation: someone who looks impressive in meetings, someone who speaks the right language." Someone who networks and plays golf with the right people instead of being too busy actually doing the real work. I've been performing this role for almost 2 years, I said. Informally, yes. But that's different from holding official leadership responsibilities. The position we're filling requires someone who can represent the department at a strategic level. Someone with real presence. The word presence hit like a slap. One of the other managers shifted uncomfortably in his seat. Even he knew this was nonsense. Then Michelle delivered the line that sealed everything. We'll be offering the position to someone with stronger executive presence. Someone who can represent us better in high-level meetings. She paused. You'll continue in your current role and keep delivering as you have been. Your technical abilities are valuable, and we don't want to lose that contribution. This isn't about your ability to do the work, it's about who we want representing the team. As if I was just a temporary support tool, a backup system, I flipped to the final page. The distribution list included Michelle's boss, HR, and several directors. This meeting had never been a discussion. It was a decision already shared before I even arrived. So this was never actually open for discussion, I said. This meeting is simply a courtesy, Michelle replied, her tone ice cold. We need you to stay focused. You're good at what you do. Let's not complicate things with titles and scope changes. She continued, the Atlas cloud migration is already 3 weeks behind schedule. I expect you to pull it back on track, as usual. I stood up slowly and deliberately. I'll follow my official job description exactly, she frowned. What does that mean? It means I'll do exactly what I'm paid to do. Nothing more, nothing less. I walked out before she could reply. I forwarded the organizational update to my team with no additional comment. Subject line, organizational update. Then I opened my official job description and started highlighting everything I had actually been doing versus what was formally listed. Roughly 70% of my daily tasks weren't technically part of my role. Amazing how that happens. The largest chunk, after-hours emergency approvals, the midnight phone calls. The weekend exception requests. For 22 months, I had been the always available human safety net. That ended today. During my regular shift, I would perform exactly what my job description required. Outside of those hours, completely unavailable, I updated my status to available business hours only. I changed my email auto-reply for anything after 5 p.m. I am currently unavailable. For urgent matters, please follow the escalation matrix and contact the designated on-call manager. I sent one clear email to leadership. Subject role clarification. Body. Per my official job description, I am not designated as on-call support. Effective immediately, I will only be available during standard business hours. I made sure to CC HR, not out of spite, but because HR only truly respects liability and clear timestamps. By noon, people began noticing the difference. Messages started piling up in the operations channel about emergency change approvals, maintenance window conflicts, and access exception requests. I responded to none of them. Around 1 p.m., a young guy from infrastructure came by my desk, looking panicked. Hey Chris, did you see the question about the Phoenix data center maintenance window? Not addressed to me, I replied, eyes staying on my screen. But who should handle it? Check with your manager. He stood there waiting for me to give in. I didn't. At 2:15, Michelle showed up at my desk, standing in that typical manager pose where they want to have a conversation without actually booking time. We need to talk about priorities, she said, using that familiar passive-aggressive tone. I looked up. My priorities are listed in my job description. If something needs to be added, we can discuss it formally, with appropriate compensation. Her jaw tightened. The Atlas cloud migration is critical. The customer is losing confidence. Her face shifted rapidly from confusion to realization to anger. Chris, you know how this works. Yeah, I said, I do. That's exactly why I'm sticking strictly to my assigned responsibilities. She stared at me for 5 full seconds, waiting for me to fold. I stared back. She walked away. That was the moment I became a real problem for them. Not because I quit or raised my voice, but because I became quietly, precisely, and inconveniently compliant. The afternoon turned into beautiful chaos. A change approval meeting started late because no one had prepared the risk assessment documents. An engineering team called 4 times and was transferred between 6 different people. A customer email sat unanswered for 3 hours because nobody knew which calendar to check. Small issues on their own, but together they created something the team hadn't experienced in 22 months, visible breakdown. When I left at exactly 5 p.m., people were still scrambling. Conference rooms were packed, phones kept ringing. Michelle was in her office on a call, gesturing sharply, her face tight with tension. I got home and looked at every document I had ever created, every policy, every risk matrix, every troubleshooting guide I had written at 2 a.m. My phone buzzed. Text from my girlfriend Melissa. How did the meeting go? Melissa worked in finance at another company. She was sharp, ambitious, and very focused on appearances and career progression. She had been excited about the promotion and had already been thinking about how it would look. Didn't get it, I replied. 3 dots appeared instantly. What? Why not? Not the right fit, apparently. That's ridiculous. What are you going to do? I looked at the highlighted job description on my desk. Exactly what they pay me for. Long pause. Then, Chris, you need to be smart about this. Just play the game. Do what they want for a few more months and ask again. I've been playing the game for 22 months. Then play it better. This is how things work. You're being stubborn. I'm being honest. Honesty doesn't pay the rent. Don't do anything stupid. You need that job. I stared at that last line. You need that job, not we need stability. Not let's figure this out together. Just you need that job. Like I was a problem she had to manage. I put the phone down without replying. I set my alarm for 8 a.m., not 7, not 6:30. Arrived at the office at exactly 8:30. Several people were already at their desks looking surprised. There were 31 unread messages from overnight. I only replied to the ones addressed directly to me by name. By 10 a.m., I had cleared 8 messages and ignored 23. At 9 a.m., a meeting reminder popped up for the Change Advisory Board. I had been running it for 18 months, setting the agenda, tracking decisions, mediating between teams. This time, I declined the invite with the reason, please confirm meeting owner. My phone rang at 8:53. You coming to cab? Not listed as required, but you always run it. Check the invite. I'm not the organizer, so who runs it? Whoever sent the invite. They hung up. The meeting started without me. What should have taken 30 minutes dragged on for 50 because no one knew how to structure it properly. The newly appointed strategic lead sat there taking notes like it was a lecture. He didn't own a single decision. Every time someone asked who approves, they looked toward Michelle. At 10:25, the weekly change success metrics report went out, raw data only. No formatting, no executive summary, no context, just numbers that meant nothing to anyone who didn't already understand the systems. The reply all chain exploded 11 minutes later. 17 emails by noon asking for explanations. An infrastructure lead stopped by around 11. Hey Chris, this report is usually cleaner. Process is documented. Operations folder, reporting subfolder, file named metric standards. Right, but you usually handle it. I used to handle things outside my scope. Not anymore. He stood there for a moment, then walked away. I heard him on his phone seconds later. I need the change control runbook v32. Chris won't touch it. My phone buzzed. Melissa again, are you still being dramatic? Just talk to your boss. I read it 3 times. Still being dramatic. As if standing up for myself was some kind of performance. I called her. She picked up on the second ring. Hey, listen, about yesterday. We're done, I said. Silence. What? You heard me, we're done. I need someone who has my back, not someone who treats me like a problem to manage. Chris, you're overreacting. I'm not. You're more worried about how my decisions make you look. That's not a partner, so we're finished. More silence. Then, you're making a mistake. The mistake was thinking you were on my side. Pack your things from my place and leave the key. I hung up. My phone immediately started buzzing again. I'm not giving up on us. I blocked her number. Felt lighter right away. That feeling lasted about 3 hours. At 2 p.m., Michelle messaged, need to sync on priorities. I replied, calendar shows me booked until 5, can schedule for tomorrow if needed. She sent a meeting invite for the next day at 9 a.m. Subject, expectation alignment. I accepted without comment. That afternoon, the chaos continued. An emergency change request sat in limbo with 5 people copied and no one willing to own it. A customer email went unanswered for 4 hours, while 3 people argued over whose responsibility it was. My phone rang twice after I got home, Michelle, then someone from operations. Both went to voicemail. After 5 p.m., I simply didn't exist. I made dinner, watched a movie, and went to bed at 10:30. The system was cracking and I slept peacefully. Conversation quieted whenever I walked past conference rooms. Not obviously, but you could feel the tension. Alarm at 8, coffee at home, arrived at 8:30 exactly. A morning stand-up started 10 minutes late because no one had prepared an agenda. It took 25 minutes for what used to take 12. Around 10, Eddie from infrastructure stopped by my desk. He always wore those loud Hawaiian shirts. "You breaking up with the company or what?" he asked with a grin. "Just following my job description." Ah, malicious compliance. Classic, he glanced toward Michelle's office. She looked pretty stressed in her meeting earlier. Too bad. At 10:30, I got pulled into a vendor call that was already going badly. Data Core Networks, an $18 million contract at risk. The vendor management guy was stumbling over his words. The vendor wasn't having it. Their director, Victoria, said, "Maintenance windows were locked for Q1. Now they're suddenly flexible. We've already committed resources." Silence on the call. 5 people, no answers. I unmuted briefly. March Amendment, Section 4.1. Link is in the shared drive. The vendor management guy sounded relieved. "Can you handle the follow-up?" Not my role. He spent the next 30 minutes searching for something I could have found in 45 seconds. By the time he called back, the issue had already been escalated to our VP. By lunch, the chaos had spread further. A customer ticket about portal data issues, ticket 4782, sat unresolved. It would have taken 5 minutes to fix. I watched it escalate from normal to high to urgent, getting reassigned 3 times. Someone knew exactly how to resolve it, they just didn't have the right access. Access I had, but they didn't. Perfect structural breakdown. Not my job, I didn't touch it. At 1 p.m., Michelle appeared at my cube again, breathing heavily, her usual polished look starting to fray. "This is spiraling," she said. I kept typing, didn't look up. "Chris," sharper this time. I stopped and turned slowly. "I know how things used to work. That was the problem." She stared at me like I was speaking another language. "We need you to step up." I am stepping up by doing my actual job. The one you decided wasn't senior leadership material. Her face flushed. "This is about the promotion, not really a question. More like an accusation. This is about doing what I'm responsible for. Nothing more, nothing less." She leaned in and lowered her voice. "Chris, I have 3 executive meetings today. The VP is asking questions. Data Core escalated. Atlas Cloud is threatening delays. I need you functional. Functional. Like I'm a machine that needs rebooting. Then the person you promoted should handle it." Sounds like exactly the kind of challenge that requires strategic vision and executive presence. Her mouth opened, then closed. "You're being unreasonable," she tried. "I'm being compliant. Following my job description exactly. That's what you wanted, right? Clear roles and defined responsibilities. We can discuss this later," she said. "Right now I need what? Free labor. That source has run dry, Michelle." She turned and walked away quickly. Her office door closed with a solid thud. The afternoon grew worse. A change approval presentation went to executives missing the risk analysis slides. They sent it back with 20 questions. An emergency database upgrade approval that should have taken 30 minutes dragged on for 4 hours because no one knew the proper risk criteria. In one meeting, an engineer finally said, "I can make the technical call, but I don't have approval authority." That was always Chris's decision. Silence. Everyone knew what needed to happen. No one wanted their name attached if it failed. They weren't helpless. They were unprotected. In a company that punished bad decisions more than inaction, no one wanted to own the approval. I watched. I took notes. I didn't type a single thing in the chat. By 4 p.m., someone said in the break room, "Why does everything suddenly feel broken?" 2 others nodded. Something definitely changed. I left at 5 sharp. My phone started buzzing before I even reached the parking lot. I ignored everything. The pattern continued into Thursday. At 9:30 Thursday morning, Michelle called an emergency meeting for infrastructure leads only. I wasn't invited. 10 minutes in, someone messaged me. "Can you explain the emergency change approval workflow?" I replied with a link to the documentation. Change Control Runbook V32. Section 7. The irony was I wasn't refusing to share knowledge. I kept sending the exact same runbook links. They just wanted me to be the runbook. 5 minutes later, Michelle was back at my desk. "People are blocked on multiple fronts." I didn't look up. Doc link below, that contains the complete answer. "Chris," she leaned on my desk more aggressively. "You know what I mean. I know what I'm responsible for. The rest isn't mine." That was your decision. By midday, the customer situation blew up. Atlas Cloud called. Their deployment tracking showed conflicting information. The change portal said Thursday. The engineering calendar said Friday. Their infrastructure director, Claire, was clearly frustrated. We have critical production deployments depending on your maintenance window, and you don't even know when it's scheduled. We've worked together almost 2 years. This has never happened before. What changed? More silence. I stayed muted, didn't volunteer, didn't rescue anyone. 20 seconds of dead air on a customer call feels endless. Someone finally promised, "We'll get you an answer by end of day." Claire's voice turned ice cold. "You said that yesterday. I need answers now, not more promises. If this isn't resolved by 3 p.m., I'm escalating directly to your executive team." Within 15 minutes, an email went to leadership with Claire's VP CC'd. Subject: critical Atlas Cloud account failure. SLA impact mentioned twice. Contract review and revenue risk highlighted in bold. At 2 p.m., infrastructure flagged a missed deadline. Monthly change success metrics, normally due on the first Thursday. Nobody had done it this month because I had always quietly handled it at 6 a.m. Infrastructure sent a formal email to leadership at 2:14 p.m. Subject: urgent, monthly change metrics overdue. Someone accidentally reply-alled, "No current owner for change approvals after hours." The thread went completely silent. Everyone realized the admission was now documented and visible to leadership. At 3 p.m., I was pulled into a call with Michelle and 2 directors I had never met before. One in a gray suit asked, "Who owns final approval on Atlas Cloud maintenance windows?" After some back and forth, someone turned to me. "Chris, explain how this worked before." I let the silence hang for a moment, then answered, "It worked through informal coordination." I filled the gaps between documented processes and actual execution. Dead quiet. "What does that mean?" Michelle asked. "The process only functioned because I absorbed all the structural gaps. I made decisions that weren't formally mine, solved problems that weren't assigned to anyone, coordinated between teams that don't talk to each other. All of it undocumented, invisible, and unpaid. No one challenged it because it was true." The meeting ended with no clear resolution. I left at exactly 5 p.m. Thursday night at 9:12 p.m., someone got tired of waiting for an approval with no owner and pushed an emergency database change anyway, calling it urgent. At 9:30, the company status page changed to investigating. They had pushed the change without a proper rollback plan, exactly the kind of thing I would have caught in 30 seconds. But no one asked because I wasn't on call. The incident bridge spun up. The channel exploded with 200 messages in 11 minutes. By 9:45, people were asking who had approved the change. "We assumed Chris would review it. Chris is off shift," someone finally said. "Has been since 5. By 10:05, it was declared a Save One customer-facing impact. Payment processing timing out. Healthcare portals throwing errors. 3 enterprise customers asking whether SLA credits would be automatic. The incident dragged on until 2:15 a.m. The rollback took 4 hours because dependencies weren't properly documented. Work I used to do at midnight for free. Friday morning, the office felt like a pressure cooker ready to explode. People were moving fast but achieving nothing. Panic without direction. I arrived at 8:30. Michelle walked past my desk without eye contact. She looked like she hadn't slept. I opened my email, 89 unread messages. I only handled the ones addressed directly to me. At 9 a.m., a new meeting invite appeared. Emergency Operations Review. Attendees included VPs and senior directors who only appear when things are truly falling apart. The meeting started at 9:30. I joined with camera off and muted. Questions came rapidly. Why are change approvals bottlenecked? Who authorized this process change? What happened with last night's incident? Why are customers threatening contract penalties? Then someone said, "We assumed Chris was handling it." Another replied, "He's not in that role." Heavy silence. A VP I had never spoken to directly asked, "Chris, what's your assessment?" I unmuted. Structural failure. Responsibility was assigned without proper authority. That doesn't work, meaning you can't expect someone to own outcomes while denying them the authority to make decisions. More silence. Someone from HR asked, "What would resolve this?" Clear ownership, decision authority, compensation that matches the actual scope, all formal and documented. The VP nodded. "We'll follow up." The meeting ended. I returned to my regular work. 10 minutes later, my desk phone rang. Michelle, Chris, can you come to conference room C? Just for a minute, I checked my calendar, nothing scheduled. For what? Please, just 5 minutes. I walked over. The door was closed, blinds drawn. Michelle was sitting alone at the table. No notebook, no laptop, just her. Close the door, she said. I left it open and stood in the doorway. She stood up and came closer, her voice dropping. Chris, I need your help. With what? The Atlas Cloud situation, the data core escalation, the metrics, all of it. She paused. I know things have been difficult, but I'm asking you to help me fix this. I'm doing my job. That's what you promoted someone else to handle. Chris, please. Her hands were shaking. She tried to hide it by gripping the chair. I'm drowning. Leadership is asking questions I can't answer. Customers are threatening to leave. The VP is watching every move. Sounds rough. Don't do this. She stepped closer. You know how this works. I just need you to handle things the way you used to, just for a few weeks until this settles down. Until what settles down? The structural failure, the missing ownership. The fact that the whole system only worked because someone was doing unpaid overtime. Her jaw tightened. I made a mistake with the promotion. I see that now. Cool, fix it. I'm trying to. But I need time, and I need you to not let everything burn while I fix it. No, Chris, you made your choice, live with it. You're being vindictive. I'm being clear. You want someone to clean up your mess. Call the person you promoted. They have the strategic vision and executive presence, right? Let them prove it. Her face turned red. This is my career. Should have thought about that 22 months ago. I walked out without looking back. I heard the conference room door slam behind me. At 11 a.m., Eddie stopped by again. Conference room B has been packed for 2 hours. Michelle and the executives. At 11:15, my phone lit up with a text from an unknown number. It included a screenshot of an email. The email was from Melissa to Michelle. Subject: concerned about Chris. Michelle, I'm reaching out because I'm worried about Chris's recent behavior. He's been acting unstable since the promotion decision, making rash choices and talking about stopping work and letting things fail. I'm concerned he might do something to sabotage operations. I thought you should know so you can address it before it escalates. He's not thinking rationally right now. Sent Wednesday at 3:42 p.m. I read it twice. Classic reputation attack. She couldn't control the breakup, so she tried to control the story, painting me as unstable and a potential risk. The wording was carefully crafted, no direct accusations, just concerns. The kind of message that doesn't need to be true, it just needs to exist. The text with the screenshot said, "Thought you should see this. From a friend. Good to know some people saw through it." At 11:45, I was pulled into an HR meeting, just the HR director. Chris, someone raised concerns about your fitness to perform your role. This is a standard check-in. Are you planning to disrupt operations in any way? I pulled out my phone, opened the screenshot, and turned it toward her. She read it. Her expression went completely neutral. Your ex-girlfriend sent this to your manager, Wednesday, without telling me, right after I ended things because she didn't have my back. She made a note. Are you planning to disrupt operations? No, I'm doing my job exactly as described, that's it. Understood, we'll document this. She closed her notebook. Continue as you have been. The meeting lasted 4 minutes. By lunch, Atlas Cloud had escalated again, pausing all deployments until the issues were resolved. That froze their production timeline and triggered further escalation to our leadership. At 1:30, I took a break and checked my personal email. 3 recruiter messages from the past week for data center operations roles at director level or higher. I updated my resume with the real scope of the past 22 months, quantified incident reductions, process improvements, everything. The document looked strong. I saved it but didn't send it anywhere yet. I just wanted to know it existed. At 2 p.m., Michelle called me into her office and closed the door. This has gotten bigger than I expected, she said. She looked completely drained. It always was, she nodded. What do you suggest? Decide who actually owns the outcome and give them the real authority to deliver it. I'll escalate this. I stood up. Let me know when there's a decision. That evening, the office was still in chaos when I left at 5. People were stuck in conference rooms, on endless calls, stress eating from the vending machines. Someone was hunched over a laptop looking like they were about to break. I walked past all of it. My phone rang at 6:20 p.m. unknown number. I answered, Chris. This is Victoria from Datacore Networks. Hey Victoria, Look, I don't know what's happening over there, but Claire from Atlas Cloud called me today. She's really frustrated. Said things have gotten messy on your side this week. Yeah, it's been interesting. Pause. Chris, I'm going to be straight with you. You're the only person over there who actually answers and follows through. The only one who closes the loop. Whatever's going on, I hope it gets sorted soon. Because if this stays messy, my VP is going to reopen renewal discussions. She paused again. And if you ever want to leave, I can introduce you to a couple of hiring managers at good companies with solid teams that don't play these kinds of games.